Hello everyone, my name is Nisar Ahmed and you are watching my YouTube channel Learn with Nisar. Today we will discuss about the types of sentences on the basis of its structure. In the last video we learned about the types of sentences on the basis of its function. So let's start the video without wasting your time. The first point, a sentence can consist of one clause or more than one clause. What is clause? This topic we have already covered in the last videos. You can see and check the playlist of English. So what is clause? It is the group of words or combination of words which gives us a complete thought. There are two types of clause. One is independent and another is a dependent clause. Independent clause gives us a complete thought while dependent clause doesn't give us complete thought. So your sentence can be made up of one clause or more than one clause. Independent clause also known as a main clause and the dependent clause also known as subordinate clause. Your independent clause can be called a main clause or dependent clause can also be called subordinate clause. Four types. It means that there are four types of the sentences on the basis of its structure or formation, just like the number of clauses in the sentence. What are four types? Number one is simple sentence. Number two, compound sentence. Number three, complex sentence. Number four, complex compound sentence, or you can say compound complex sentence. So let's learn in deep. What is simple sentence? Only one clause, main or independent clause. Means a simple sentence comprises of only one main clause. We have already studied that main clause can also be called independent clause or independent clause can also be called main clause. So your simple sentence comprises of only one clause, and that is main clause. Main clause, what is main clause? Main clause having subject and predicate which expresses complete meaning can be a main clause. Means your simple sentence can be considered as a main clause because it has subject and verb, and it is also one main clause, so it can be considered as a main clause. No dependent clause means there's no any dependent clause in the simple sentence. Let's see examples and understand it. I bought a chair. So this is also giving us a complete thought or meaning, and this is also the main clause, only one clause, and it is a simple sentence and can be considered as a main clause. He ate a mango. This is also a main clause and giving us a complete thought. So this is your simple sentence. Third is also same. They are laughing at him. What is compound sentence? Contains two main clauses, independent clauses. It means a compound sentence comprises of two main clauses. Means there are two main clauses in the compound sentence connected by coordinating conjunctions. Means a compound sentence contains two main clauses, and these two main clauses are connected by coordinating conjunctions. So what are coordinating conjunctions? Coordinate conjunctions are used to join main clauses. So now understood that why we are using to join main clauses in the compound sentence. What are we are using? We are using coordinating conjunctions. Coordinating conjunctions like and, for, nor, yet, so, but, or. These are coordinating conjunctions which are used to join main clauses in the compound sentence. Independent clause, sometimes connected by a semicolon, means your independent clauses can be connected by a semicolon. Sometimes when we are not going to use coordinating conjunctions, so we can connect it by using a semicolon. Comma cannot be used before a conjunction in a compound sentence. So when you are going to use coordinating conjunction between main clauses in the compound sentence, so you cannot use comma. Let's see examples and understand it well. I needed help. He helped me. So here we have used semicolon, and so we cannot use coordinating conjunction because we have used a semicolon. She failed many times. Yes, she is not disappointed. Here we haven't used comma because we have used coordinating conjunction, that is yet. I wrote him a letter but he didn't reply me. Here your coordinating conjunction is but and it is connecting to main clauses. What is complex sentence? Contains one main clause and at least one subordinate clause. Means there will be one main clause in the complex sentence and at least one subordinate clause will be present in the complex sentence. We have already learned independent clause can also be called main clause and dependent clause can also be called subordinate clause. So remember this point always. Connected by subordinating conjunction means a complex sentence in which there's one main clause and one subordinate clause. Both are connected by subordinating conjunctions. What are subordinate conjunctions? Such as although, because, since, unless, when. These are subordinating conjunctions. Relative pronouns, sometimes main clause and subordinate clause in the complex sentence are connected by relative pronouns like such as who, that, which, etc, and so on. Let's see examples and understand it well. I saw a man who was wearing a black shirt. So underlined sentence is your main clause which is giving us a complete thought and it is connected with a what, with a relative pronoun which is who was wearing a black shirt. Who was wearing a black shirt is your dependent clause or subordinate clause which is not giving us a complete thought, but it is depending on the independent clause to give us a complete thought, which is I saw a man. She gifted me a book that has a great knowledge. So here we have used subordinate conjunction, that is that, and the first sentence is your independent clause or main clause and the last that has a great knowledge is your dependent clause which is depending on the independent clause to show or to give us a complete thought. I helped a child who was quiet. So the first sentence is your independent clause or main clause and the second sentence who was crying is your dependent clause which is not giving us a complete thought, and both sentences are connected by a relative pronoun. Note down, when complex sentence start with an independent clause then comma will not be used between clauses in the complex sentence. Means when you are going to start the complex sentence with an independent clause then you can't use comma between clauses in the complex sentence. Okay, note down this point in your copy. But if it starts with a dependent clause, comma will be used of the dependent clause in the complex sentence. But when you are going to start the complex sentence with a dependent clause or subordinate clause, then you have to use comma after it. Let's see examples. It is quite hot today, although it is raining. So the first sentence is your main clause, and now we can't use comma because we have connected it with what a subordinate conjunction. It is raining, although it is raining. So here we haven't used comma. Let's see another example. Although it is raining, it is quite hot today. So the in the first sentence, the last sentence coming in the first, and the first sentence coming in the last. So now we have used dependent clause in the starting and independent clause in the last or end. So we can use now comma. Comma can be used because we have started the sentence with an independent clause. So we have to use comma. What is compound complex sentence or what is complex compound sentence? Let's learn it. Has at least two main clauses and one or more subordinate clauses. Means compound complex sentence comprises of two main clauses and one or more subordinate clauses can be present in the compound complex sentence. Can be called compound complex sentence, that is already I told you. Let's see examples. I like mathematics, but my brother likes biology, who wants to be a doctor. So the underlined two sentences are your main clauses and are connected by coordinating conjunctions, and the last sentence who wants to be a doctor is your subordinate or depending clause. Number 2, I waited for her but she didn't come, which disappointed me. I waited for her, it is your main clause. Second, she didn't come, this is also your main clause. And the last is your dependent clause, which disappointed me. Now I have exercise for you. Identify the following sentences. I like her stylish writing. Number two is going to college because he wants to meet his girlfriend. Number three, they are laughing at a joker. Number four, I met a friend who helped me a lot. He doesn't like people who smoke. Comment your answers and I will try to my best to answer you. Thank you for watching. See you next video. Till then, take care. Allah Hafiz.